What's up? It's James, aka Who the F is JC, and I've had the chance to see Star Wars The Last Jedi twice now, and I've taken some time to think about it, let it all sink in, and I want to post my personal opinion and review of the movie. I just want to give you a heads up. If you're watching this, stop watching right now if you haven't seen it yet. If you have not seen Star Wars The Last Jedi, do not watch my review until you go see it. I'd like you to go see it for yourself, form your own opinion, and not go see it with any kind of predetermined opinions I might have planted in your brain. My view of the movie, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's different, but there's going to be a lot of spoilers. I'm going to reveal a lot of the things that happen in the plot of the movie, a lot of stuff that happens to some of the characters, so I don't want to ruin the experience for you by watching this review before you go see it. So go see the movie, come back, watch my review, and then let me know what you think about the movie. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Maybe you think I'm a total, complete, and utter asshole, which is fine, because that's what you think. Again, this is just my opinion on the flick and what I felt after watching the movie 2 times and letting it sit and digest a little bit. So again, this is your last spoiler alert warning. There's going to be spoilers. I'm going to talk about some of the key things that happen in the movie, some of the stuff that happens to the characters, if there's deaths, some of the fights, some of the twists. All that stuff could possibly be revealed in this review. So if you don't want that to happen, stop watching right now. Alright, so if you're stuck around now, you're either wanting to have the movie spoiled, or you've already seen it and you've come back to check out my opinion and you want to see what I have to say about the movie. So starting right off the bat, there's a lot of negativity going around the internet on the movie, and there's some of it that I agree with, some of it I disagree with. I don't think it's a horrible movie. I think overall, as a Star Wars fan, I was a little disappointed after watching it, and I'll get to all that throughout the review as to why. I think my expectations might have been set way too high. I feel with The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams nailed that shit, man. He fucking nailed The Force Awakens. I thought it was awesome. I couldn't have been happier with The Force Awakens. So I had my expectations set to that level. You know, then Rogue One came out. And to me, Rogue One, I would say, was just as good as Empire Strikes Back. I loved Rogue One. I thought they did an amazing job with that. And they nailed it. So now my expectations are double as high as you know, what they were for after watching The Force Awakens for going into The Last Jedi. So I'm going to start off with some of the positive things that took place in The Last Jedi. Right off the bat, the movie is 2.5 hours long. Might seem kind of long, and sometimes it might feel a little long, but for the most part, 2.5 hours, non-stop action. Non-stop intergalactic battles, intergalactic conflicts, fighting, and stuff like that. So everything that you would want from a Star Wars movie is here, and you have 2.5 hours of it. So I think they nailed that part of the movie. The whole movie, no matter what I did, I could not guess what was going to happen next. You know, what's going to happen with Rey? Is this going to happen? Oh shit, no, I was way off. That's not going to happen. This actually happens. Oh, what's going to happen? Is Kyle going to do this? Oh shit, no, that's not what happened. So no matter what, the entire movie kept me guessing. Literally, from the beginning all the way to the end, I could not predict what was going to happen in the movie. After seeing it a second time, I could tell that there's some clues. They give you some clues to where you could guess some of the elements, but when you're watching it and you're just so enthralled in the Star Wars universe, you don't really pick up on that stuff until you're going through and you're just trying to watch it with an analytical eye. And both times I watched it, I wasn't watching it literally analytically either time. The second time I picked up on more stuff, and after having discussions with friends after the second time, I picked up on some of the stuff that they picked up on, and some stuff I missed, they picked up on, and we kind of compared notes, and I could realize that they kind of give you all the clues to kind of figure out what's happening, but I just never picked up while viewing the movie. For the most part, the battles are awesome. Like the space fights are awesome. Like the movie kicks right off. Intergalactic space battle. Like as soon as the Star Wars, you know, text scrolls across the top, you're launched right into some sort of a space battle. You know, Poe is, you know, trying to help destroy, he's trying to distract the First Order in order to let some of the resistance escape from the planet that they're currently inhabiting. And so a big battle ensues, some bombers come in and they blow up this big huge First Order weapon called the Dreadnought. And that's another thing that I thought was awesome in this movie is those First Order weapons, man. The way they tweaked some of the stuff that they had from the original 3, and even some of the things you see in the prequels, the way they kind of combined it and made them look more futuristic and even more fucking badass. They did a great job with some of the First Order weapons, like the new AT-ATs or AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them. the way they made those look in the movie, fucking sweet. And even like the spacecrafts that like the Resistance are flying in, like they're fucking sweet looking spacecrafts. They do a great job with that kind of stuff. The planets, like the visuals that they have on the planets in outer space, fucking nailed it, man. They did an amazing job with that portion of it. There's a lot of great stuff about the movie, and I definitely think it's worth seeing, even with some of the negative stuff that's being said, and some of the stuff that I'm going to get to that I had issues with in the movie. It's definitely, if you're a Star Wars fan, you still got to go see this movie in the fucking theater. There's no better way to see it than on the big fucking screen in front of your face with fucking Dolby surround sound. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have a system like that in your house, well, good for you. I don't have that, so I have to go get my kicks that way from the movie theater. So it's definitely worth seeing in the movie theater, regardless of what anybody has said. But with that said, here's some of the stuff that I disliked about it. So, first of all, I feel like this movie just reeks of Mickey Mouse crap. Like, this movie, I feel like, is way more Disneyfied. Like, the Disneyfication of Star Wars has begun, I feel. With this movie, they've definitely, I felt at moments I was watching more of a Disney movie, and then I was watching a Star Wars movie. And a lot of that is the type of humor that they put into the movie. A lot of that is some of the little animals that they put in the movie. Some of that is some of the gags that they put in the movie, with some of the puppets and stuff. There's some scenes with Rey, and she's trying to get Luke to train her to be a Jedi, and she ends up like destroying some of these old buildings and stuff on that planet that they find Luke at the end of The Force Awakens. And there's these little caretakers that they're kind of Ewok-y, but they're not like stuffed animals. They're more like if they had a lizard Ewok, it'd be these guys, but they also look like they kind of dress up like nuns. I don't know, they're weird. But there's some issues with her and those guys, and that to me just has felt more like a Disney flick than it felt like a Star Wars flick. And again, like there's some moments where those porgs, those little like friggin' Furby things. Essentially, all it is, it's a Star Wars Furby. And there's a scene in the cockpit with Chewbacca, and they do a crazy flip or a spin, or they do a turn in the ship, and the porg ends up landing, smacking right on against the cockpit glass, and like stuff like that. And there's these weird little crystal creatures. I think Finn, he actually calls them a crystal critter. Towards the end of the movie, they're in like a salt mine, and there's these crystal, they look like foxes with crystals growing out of them. And there's just this weird scene where they just show them running in. Like, you don't really need that as an establishing shot to show these creatures. I didn't think you needed to show that as an establishing shot to show these creatures in there. I kind of see why they did it, because they eventually they used them as a way to find a way out of this mine. But I feel like you didn't need that establishing shot. Plus, there's a whole like subplot with Finn and this new character Rose, and it takes place in an intergalactic casino on another planet. And I just feel like that's like a motif that you see in a lot of like Disney movies. These younger kids are trying to go into this like casino, you know, where like all this bad stuff is supposed to happen, and they're trying to find this one person, the master code breaker. I just felt like seeing that, like that whole casino interaction with them, like you didn't need that. A, you didn't. I feel like you didn't need it in the movie. B, and I also felt like that was more like something I feel like very Disney-esque. Like I feel like I've seen that in other Disney flicks. Other Disney movies use that same thing, like these younger kids going to this casino to try to find this one person. There's also a portion of that where there's like these giant, they almost look like baby goats, but they have like, if you've seen those hairless cats, they have like hairless cat ears, and they have like a baby goat face, and they're giant horse bodies, and they use them to race like you would like horse races. And there's a whole scene where they end up, Finn and Rose ride on the back of this giant goat horse, you know, cat creature through the entire city, and they destroy the casino, you know, and they do all this justice. Like, I feel like you didn't need that. Like, in the movie, everybody that you know is about to fucking die. They're all about to fucking die. They have 6 hours of fuel or whatever. And here we are, they're fucking racing on the back of this giant, weird goat horse cat creature, you know, and destroying the city. Granted, maybe in the storyline, it wasn't their choice to do all this stuff, but they even make a comment in there how they wish they could just destroy the city because they see how bad it is or whatever. And I felt like he didn't need that. Like, that to me brought in more of the Disney-esque feelings. That and some of the jokes. There's moments in the movie where I feel like they just took the Marvel Avengers, the Marvel franchise formula, and they plugged in Star Wars characters. Boop, 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 boop. They plugged in the Star Wars characters, they ran it through the Marvel formula, and pfft, here comes, you know, some comedy with some of the action and stuff like that. Now, some people are saying on the internet, if you thought the movie was too funny, then you forgot what Star Wars was all about. I completely fucking disagree with that statement. That fucking statement makes me so angry to say, like, if you thought the movie was too funny. Now I'm saying I thought the movie was too funny. I thought the jokes that were in the movie were not needed. You did not need some of the comedy that they put in this movie. For example, the movie starts off, like I said, Poe is trying to distract the First Order in order to let the Resistance escape the planet. He does that by doing a fucking prank phone call. A prank phone call. Like he's on the comm, he's on the communicator with Hux, and he's like, yeah, I'm holding for Commander Hux, and they go through this crazy, like, almost Jerky Boys-esque prank phone call where Hux is in, oh, we're gonna destroy you, you rebel scum, you vermin, you're vermin, there's no surrender, and then Poe will interrupt, yeah, still holding for Hux, like. So, a long time ago in a galaxy far away, they had fucking cell phones. Like, you were put on hold. You had to call the fucking Empire, and they'd put you on hold, and they'd play some fucking cool cantina music while you're on hold, waiting. Like, why would being on hold even be a fucking thing in the Star Wars universe? So, that was one of the jokes that fucking pissed me off right off the bat. So, like, the movie, as I'm watching it, I'm having these moments where I'm like, fuck, I hate this movie. I love this movie. I hate this movie. I love this movie. Because of some of these jokes and these little bits of humor that they're trying to spike in. I understand why they're trying to do it, but I just feel like it wasn't necessary. And you wouldn't reference, like, some of the stuff. To me, like, some of the jokes that they put in Star Wars The Last Jedi would be the equivalent of if A New Hope, on the back of the fucking Millennium Falcon, there's a bumper sticker that says, ass, gas, or grass, nobody rides for free. Or Jabba the Hutt would fucking say, where's the beef? You know, that to me is the type of jokes that they were putting in to The Last Jedi. Like, I feel like in the movies, at least the original trilogy, the humor that they put in the movies all organically spawned from the characters. It was all something believable that the characters would do or say or act, or something accidental that happened. And I feel like they tried to do some of that stuff while they're on Luke's planet, when Rey was trying to get her to train him, and she fucking blows a hole through a thing, and these creatures, those, like, lizard Ewok creatures, had to fix it. Like, some of that humor I could see they tried to reach for and put that in there. But the actual jokes, dude, there's a fucking joke in the movie where Luke Skywalker fucking dusts his shoulder off. Like, has he got the latest Jay-Z album? What, you know? Like, what the fuck? Like, why would you dust your shoulder off? Like, that to me, like, that pissed me off, like, when I saw that. Like, there's too many references to current modern time, our galaxy, our universe, pop culture references. There was too many of those in the movie, and that's why I didn't like it. Well, not the movie itself, but the comedy, some of the humor. And like I said, like, some of these jokes would make sense. It's fucking Iron Man. Iron Man dusts his shoulder off after fucking Thanos tries to blow his ass away, and he fucking just comes out and dusts his shoulder off. Fuck yeah. I'm going to cheer for that joke all day long when Iron Man does it, because Iron Man takes place in our universe, in our galaxy. This isn't some shit that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far away. So I feel like the comedy that they put in there wasn't used appropriately for the Star Wars franchise. And to say that if you thought Star Wars was too funny, you don't know what Star Wars is all about, go fuck yourself. Like, that's the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard. I'm all for there to be funny moments in the Star Wars movie, but don't fucking dust your shoulder off. Like, that is the shit that pissed me off. Other jokes that are in the movie. They make a reference to Captain Phasma as Chrome Dome. Like, why would they even know Chrome Dome? Is Chrome even a fucking element in the Star Wars universe? You know, why would that be used? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I feel like, hell, why don't we just have the Resistance fucking sending dick pics to one another, or sending the fucking first Resistance pics of their bunghole, you know, on Snapchat? You know, are they liking shit on Facebook? Like, some of the other jokes and stuff that I thought they put in there that I felt took away from it was, again, like that pork falling on the glass. Not only was that like a Disneyfication of it, but also like a humorous moment that you really didn't need to be there. The pork falling in the cockpit, I'm less upset about. I'm more upset about, like, things like Chrome Dome. So there's a point where Finn refers to Captain Phasma as Chrome Dome. Like, why would Chrome Dome be an insult he would come up with? Like, in what was it, Empire Strikes Back, Princess Leia calls Han Solo a fucking nerf herder, and, you know, shit like that. Like, they're using insults with using words and terms and stuff from their own universe, not using stuff from current modern day pop culture references. So that's why some of the humor I felt didn't work at all. Like, there's a moment where Yoda appears in the movie, He's talking to Luke, and Luke's all worried he's gonna burn down that tree with that houses all these books, all these ancient Jedi scripts and texts and books and shit. And Yoda makes a joke about how they were all real page turners. Like, you fucking just finished reading Stephen King's It? Like, this stuff like that, like, I don't think Yoda would make a joke like that. I just feel the jokes and the humor that they put in there is just like some 2-bit fucking comedy that they just threw in there to make it more of a Disney-esque kind of Marvel fan-friendly flick. And so that's why I didn't like the comedy and the humor that they put in the movie. Some of the other stuff that I found kind of negative about the movie. I feel like some of the green screen stuff was kind of making my prequel senses tingling a little bit. There's a few scenes on Luke's planet with Rey and Luke that I feel like you could see exactly like where they were cut out and what was green screen and what wasn't. And I feel like maybe if somebody adjusted the lighting a little bit, whoever their I don't know if it's the APD does it anymore. I don't forget who does the lighting. Maybe it's just the lighting guy. Whoever like does the lighting, maybe they should have tweaked the lighting a little bit, or they did something to make it look not as blatantly CGI'd. So there's a few blatantly CGI'd moments that I really didn't care for. Plus, I think Yoda looked kind of fucking weird. And after watching it the second time, I wasn't as mad about how Yoda looked as I was the first time. Because when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck did they do with Yoda? They fucking pulled Yoda out of some like ventriloquist dummy box, and then they fucking just started making him talk. Now, I feel like the Yoda in The Last Jedi looks better than the Yoda in the prequels, because the prequels, he's too cartoony, he's too much of a cartoon character, he's too CGI'd. But I feel like in The Last Jedi, something was all kind of fucking wonky with the way his mouth moved. You could tell it's a puppet, so I'm glad they kind of went back to the puppet. But you lose a little life in his eyes. Like, his eyes weren't selling it. Maybe CGI his eyes in so his eyes look a little more realistic. And then the way the puppeteer moved his mouth, it was more like, sucking in his lips. Oh, mama, oh, you will, Luke. Like, I felt it was more like his lips were being pulled in to mimic his mouth moving instead of like an actual person's mouth would move when you're trying to talk or you're trying to communicate. So that was my beef with Yoda. Some of the key moments in the movie that I thought they fucking totally fucked up. Again, the beginning part with that Jerky Boys-esque prank phone call being on hold. Like, I think they missed that. There could have been another way they could have distracted the First Order than to do whatever the fuck they did with that the on hold prank. There's a moment in the movie that I thought was beyond ridiculous. And it's not the part, so they blow up the bridge on this ship that has pretty much the entire Resistance. Anybody who's somebody in the Resistance at this moment is on this ship. They're all on the bridge, and Kylo goes in, and he's about to blow it up. Then he changes his mind, and a couple other First Order ships blow some missiles in there and blow up the entire bridge. Like, Admiral Akbar's there, or Princess Leia, or General Leia is there. Like, anybody who's in anybody is in this little room in the bridge, gets blown up. Blown the fucking smithereens, man. There is not a scrap of anything that's salvageable from this explosion. Everybody's fucking dead. Yeah, rest in peace, Admiral Akbar. We loved you. It's a trap. You'll live on forever. But now you're fucking dead. But guess what? Guess who's got not a scratch on them? The fucking General Leia. Princess Leia. Not a single scratch on her. How does that fucking work? She's just a body floating in space. You can start to see little crystals, looks like forming on her. I don't know, that's supposed to be something to do with the midichlorians or whatever that's in her for having like the force flow through her body or whatever. But it's just fucking ridiculous that everybody's fucking blown to smithereens but Princess Leia or General Leia, whatever you want to refer to her as. And then suddenly her eyes awaken, and all of a sudden her arm is out and extended, and she gets pulled right back into the ship, and they end up pulling her in, and now she's in a coma. She's in like a weird breathing tube thing with a thing over her head. So that to me, just completely unbelievable. Like, granted, I understand we're talking about a movie that focuses around an intergalactic space battle between a very powerful empire and a bunch of small little rebels, and it's not supposed to be very realistic, but I feel like even within that realm of the galaxy, or even within that confine, it's unbelievable. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And also, I think they missed a great opportunity to just kill off Princess Leia. I mean, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. She passed away. I know she's supposed to be a big portion of the final movie in this trilogy, but that, to me, would have been a perfect way for them to just kind of eliminate the Princess Leia character from the Star Wars franchise. She died, you know, like that. And she didn't die at the hands of her son, but almost did. And I thought that would have been a great way to just wrap up the Princess Leia character. Now, if she comes back, she can come back as some sort of a CGI'd Force ghost or whatever you want to call those guys. One of the biggest letdowns in the movie is how they used Luke Skywalker, okay? From what I understand, from my Star Wars knowledge, to date, he's supposed to be the most powerful Jedi known to the galaxy. And all he is in this movie is an old, grumpy-ass curmudgeon. Like, he could have been fucking, it could have been the movie Up, starring Luke Skywalker. So a majority of the plot with Rey and Luke is just Luke, like, being a fucking asshole. Like, being an old grumpy asshole. That's all he was. Doesn't want to deal with the fucking Jedi. Doesn't want to fucking teach anybody how to use the Force. Doesn't want to do this. I would just want to fucking die. Like, he's the fucking most powerful Jedi that we know to this point. Why isn't he fucking fighting and kicking ass and fucking doing shit with the lightsaber? Instead, he's just fucking hanging out, waiting to die. Like, that's such a waste of an amazing character that they could have used to do a bunch of shit. And he's just on this island, this planet with this island, being an asshole, being an old, grumpy asshole. He's screaming at kids for fucking running on the lawn. That's what he became. That, to me, was a complete and utter waste of an amazing character from the Star Wars universe. You could have done so much more. Okay, another issue that I take up with the movie. Going back to Finn. So Finn meets this other character named Rose, whose sister dies at the beginning of the movie while they're bombing the Dreadnought. So Finn's actually trying to escape the ship that they're on. She ends up having to stun him or whatever, and they end up with this budding relationship because he knows the ins and outs of First Order ships and how to do stuff. And I don't know if she's some sort of an engineer or she knows how to like do shit behind the scenes with the electronics and stuff for the Resistance. So they have this plan of how the First Order is actually able to track the Resistance going through light speed, which is not something they've ever been able to do before. Well, First Order figured out how to do it. Finn and Rose, they figured out a way to stop the tracking from tracking them, so they come up with this plan with Poe, where they're gonna get onto the fucking First Order ship that's tracking them, find a way to get into their inner little sanctum area where the power for the tracker is, and then Rose is gonna fucking destroy it, and then once that gets destroyed, Poe's gonna fucking launch the Resistance into light speed, and they'll be safe from the First Order for now. That was the plan that they came up with. Well, in order to do this, they get on some telecom, and the chick that ran that bar from The Force Awakens, I forget her name, she's like, you need the master code breaker, blah, 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 and he just so happens to be at a casino or whatever. So they got to go to this other planet, so they get in an escape pod, and they fly off to this other planet to try to find this master code breaker. So I have no issues with that part so far. The issue that I have is, again, the Disneyfication of the movie. They're in the casino. They're trying to find these people in the casino. They get thrown in jail for illegally parking their ship on the beach. It's fucking stupid. Arrest them because they're with the fucking Resistance or something. That, to me, would make way more fucking sense than, shame on you, you illegally parked. You're going straight to jail. Like, that's the fucking lamest reason for them to get picked up because they fucking parked their ship on a beach. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, maybe it makes sense, but to me, it's fucking stupid. It's just dumb. It's a dumb reason. So anyways, while they're in jail, Benicio del Toro's character, he's like also a code breaker. He busts them out of jail, and they think he's kind of full of shit at first. Then they go on their fucking Disney-esque adventure where they ride the goat, cat, horse creatures through the fucking city, destroying the casino and fucking throwing it all in all the rich people's faces and all that shit. And then at the very last moment, a ship appears with BB-8 and Benicio del Toro's character, Codebreaker guy. They hop on his ship, and then they tell him the plan, and he's like, yeah, I can do it for you. So then they end up coming up with a way to get through the First Order security, and they end up on the ship. I think it's Snoke's, Supreme Leader Snoke's ship. So they end up on his ship, and they have to disable the fucking tracker and all that, and they go through that. Well, they end up getting captured. And then all of a sudden, they're getting captured. This is the part that fucking pisses me off. They get captured, and at no point whatsoever in the movie does Finn or Rose tell Benicio del Toro's character the plan that the rebels or the Resistance are doing. Because now at this point, the rebels are so worried about the First Order destroying them They're fueling up their escape pods, and they're gonna throw everybody on an escape pod to this planet that's an old, uncharted rebel base. So they're gonna send everybody out in the escape pods, cloaked on these escape pods. Well, once they get captured, they reveal they're about to execute Finn and Rose. Next thing you know, Benicio del Toro's character comes by. He's got a weird, like, lisp, or not lisp, he's got a weird stutter. And he's like, I cut a deal. And, you know, Captain Phasma shows up. And then they're paying Benicio del Toro's character all these credits and giving him his shit back. But he says he cut him a deal, and that the secrets that he gave them were true, and that all these people were escaping on these escape pods. How the fuck did Benicio del Toro's character know the secret? Finn didn't even fucking know the secret. Rose doesn't know the fucking secret. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. We don't even know what the fuck's going on until they reveal it a few minutes later. Like, almost right at this moment is when the viewer finds out. How in the fuck does Benicio del Toro's character know? He's got some fucking... What, he's on, like, fucking Star Wars WikiLeaks, and somebody fucking leaked it or something? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody knows what's going on, except for the person that was taking over for Princess Leia. That was the only person, like, whoever was in that sanctum, they're the only ones that knew. How the fuck does Benicio del Toro's character find out? Like, that's a weird hole in the plot that I didn't understand. Like, how does he know this is the secret? You know, he's in there hacking shit or whatever, and he fucking gets them into where they can shut down the tracker, and then they get busted. Cool. But then he cut a deal. He cut a deal with a secret that how does he fucking know? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Another big issue I have, Supreme Leader Snoke. Okay? To me, if your character is Supreme Leader, you're Snoke, you're supposed to be like, essentially what the Emperor was. You should be as powerful as the Emperor, maybe as powerful as Darth Vader. You should be able to fuck some shit up. The way they kill Supreme Leader Snoke in this movie really pissed me off. Because it was way too easy. So there's a part where Snoke's essentially trying to get Kylo Ren to kill Rey. And as Kylo Ren is like manipulating his lightsaber like he's going to kill Rey, he also has Luke Skywalker, or I think it's Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. I'm not sure whose other lightsaber it is. Maybe it's Darth Vader's. I don't know. But there's another lightsaber. Whatever lightsaber Rey has, it's probably Darth Vader's. Has is sitting like on his throne next to him. And whatever, nerds, I know you're going to light me up for getting that wrong. It's fine. Light me up in the comments. The more comments, the better. Tell me I'm a fucking idiot. That's cool. But anyways, there's another lightsaber on the throne next to Snoke. And as Kylo Ren is manipulating this lightsaber to take out Rey, he's doing the same exact thing. Kylo's doing the same exact thing to the lightsaber sitting next to him. Okay? Your Supreme Leader Snoke! How do you not fucking realize 2 inches from you is a fucking lightsaber flipping around, about to turn on, and cut your ass in half? Makes no sense. I don't understand how that could have escaped him. Doesn't make any sense to me. This should have been a hell of a lot more bigger of a battle to defeat Snoke. This should have been a hell of a Jedi battle with Rey and Kylo maybe joining forces to take out Snoke. That would have been way better. Now, I'll give him credit, because after Snoke gets killed, maybe one of the best lightsaber battles or duels I've seen in Star Wars history was between Rey and Kylo on a team against Snoke's like guards, like those guards in the red that you always see in the background of the movies. You never actually get to see him fight or do shit. You get to see them do some fucking crazy ass shit in this movie. So right after they kill Snoke in the fucking lamest way possible, one of the greatest battles in Star Wars history takes place with Rey and Kylo fighting these other guards, because Kylo was hoping Rey's going to join him, and they're going to start their own little fucking supreme leadership and dominate the galaxy together, and she doesn't want any part of that. So, the way they killed Snoke, they got away with it way too easy. It shouldn't have been that easy to kill your Supreme Leader Snoke, okay? You're not some fucking 2-bit Jedi, some fucking, you know, some Padawan or whatever, you know? You're a big deal. A couple more things that I disliked about the movie. And then this will be done and over with. I don't even know how long I've been talking for, but I feel like I've been talking forever. So one of the other moments in the movie that I really didn't care for, there's a battle. It's not a big battle or an epic battle, but it could have been. There's a battle between Finn and Captain Phasma. Now this is a battle I've been waiting the whole movie to see, man. I want to see Finn and Captain Phasma fucking lock it up, man. I want to see him fucking go to town. I want to see a fucking battle. It lasts about 2 seconds. And it's just like by luck, Finn ends up defeating Captain Phasma. And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, that could have been a huge battle. You could have eliminated like 10 minutes of the fucking casino and the fucking weird dog, cat, goat things You could have eliminated a big chunk of that portion of the fucking story and focused more on a huge battle between Finn and Captain Phasma. That would have been way more badass than how it happened. You know, it's like all of a sudden Captain Phasma seemingly quickly defeats Finn. Next thing you know, she turns around, she starts taking a couple shots at Rose. What happens? Oh, Finn's on some sort of a platform that moves up out of the ground, and he fucking hits her in the head. And then all of a sudden, the whole part of the dreadnought that Snoke was on, or whatever the ship that Snoke was on, is falling apart. And she falls down, and I don't know, maybe she's dead for good. But it's the thing that just drives me nuts. I don't know why Star Wars has to just easily waste some of the greatest villains, some of the greatest characters in the Star Wars universe, and they kill them off in such an easy and like bullshit way. Boba Fett falling in this the Sarlacc pit. Darth Maul, dude, Darth Maul in the fucking Phantom Menace, he was fucking badass, and he died that easily just going down the fucking tube. And now Captain Phasma, like, it just drives me nuts, man. Like, you make all this time to create these characters that are just fucking sweet. These are some badass characters. Then you just shit right on them. You take a dump right on their fucking chest, man, and then you just shit them out and then you fucking throw them away. So that's what kind of drives me nuts. Like, I don't think Captain Phasma should have died that easily. If she dies, that's fine. I'm not trying to be like some sort of a Captain Phasma sympathizer. I don't have like a weird Captain Phasma stormtrooper fetish, and I got the hots for her. But it's just a waste of that character. She falls down a trash chute in Force Awakens. You think, is she gone? Is she back? Well, at least you know at the end of that, it's more likely she's going to come back from the trash chute, because we've all seen A New Hope. You know, you can come back from the trash chute. But then in this one, she falls down in a fucking fiery pit. I don't know. It's just, come on. Like, at least make the battle a little more epic. That's all I have to say. I know Finn used to be a First Order trooper or whatever. I feel like he could have kicked her ass. Maybe a stroke of luck, but maybe not so easily. He just fucking comes up on this platform and it hits her in the face, and then bam, the floor dissolves and she's gone. You know, the floor is lava and then she dies. That would have been a way better way to finish off like the whole Finn Captain Phasma like rivalry. You know, like that would be a way better way to finish it off, having more of an epic battle. So, like I mentioned before, I think the biggest moment in the movie that I really dislike is the Luke Skywalker dusting his shoulder off, fucking rocking the new Jay-Z album, or whatever. Like, that was the one moment in the movie that kind of made me most angry. It's probably some people's most epic, awesome moment of the movie, but for me, that was the most untrue to the Star Wars universe moment that they put in this movie. Fucking dust your shoulder off. Get the fuck out of here. Dust your shoulder off. Essentially, also, like, the moment before Luke dusts his shoulder off, it's because he appears. So the Resistance has, whatever's left of the Resistance has made it to this base that they're trying to escape to in the escape pods. And they get there, and they're all like, oh, fuck, we're doomed. The First Order's here. First Order's got all these crazy weapons. They have this giant... They took the Death Star weapon and they made it smaller. So they're going to use it to crack open the fucking door behind the salt mine that they're hiding behind. And they'll be able to knock the door open real easy. So all of a sudden Luke appears, you know, so he comes and does his thing and he goes outside because he's going to challenge Kylo. He's going to fight Kylo. So here you are, you're thinking, oh, fuck yeah! Finally! We're going to see Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren fucking go toe-to-toe. It's going to be the most epic lightsaber battle of the entire Star Wars universe. It's going to be great. But before Kylo Ren comes out to fight him, he orders the First Order. He's now in charge because Snoke is dead. He orders the entire First Order to blast everything they have at Luke Skywalker. So you just see all these fucking lasers fucking shooting at fucking Luke Skywalker. All these lasers, all this salt and smoke is all fucking kicked up in the air. It's all fucking dirty and nasty. Smoke clears after Hux tells him to quit firing, and you see Luke Skywalker. Still standing there, and then he does the dust your shoulder off. I couldn't think of a worse way to be like, you missed me. That was the worst way they could have done it. Dust your shoulder off, and that actually made me angry. Like, it made me so angry. I was going from like, I fucking love this movie to I hate this movie to I love this movie. That brought me from I love this movie down to fuck, I hate it. Why do they do that? But I mean, they did, and it's there. And then to spoil the whole thing, Kylo Ren comes down, and you think they're still gonna have this lightsaber battle, and then it's not a battle because Luke is actually still on his planet, and he's channeling the Force He was using the Force to make himself appear there. And if you watch closely, you see little clues that allude to this. There's parts, if you watch, they'll show Kylo Ren's feet moving on the salt. And when the salt moves, like, stuff turns red underneath. I don't know if that's because there's salt on top and it's red underneath, or if it's some sort of property that goes along with the salt. And they'll show Luke's feet move, and you don't see that redness. Also, Luke looks like he's got a fresh dye job from Just for Men beard and hair. So you're like, what the fuck, man? Luke Skywalker had his scraggly beard. He had long hair and was all gray and miscolored. He looked like a really old man. Now he looks like somebody who just stepped out of a fucking Just for Men commercial, and he's ready to fight with the lightsaber. I mean, hell, that's a miss on Disney's opportunity to put your fucking logo on a Just for Men dye. You know, you missed that one, Disney. Could have collected a bunch of coin on that one, but you missed it. Just for Men. Maybe keep that in mind for the next one. So, anyways, Luke just keeps dodging all of Kylo Ren's advances and stuff. Then eventually he just stands there and he lets Kylo take a swipe at him, and the lightsaber goes right through him. And then Kylo even tries to just fucking stab him, and then he realizes Luke's not there. This was all a distraction to let everybody that's in the salt mine escape on the Millennium Falcon. And then, you know, they take off, and then you're left wondering, like, what's going to happen next. I think the way they ended it in regards to the story is fine, because now I'm fucking curious. I have no idea what's going to happen next. I still want to know who the fuck are Rey's parents, because I don't think they make a couple statements in there that her parents were nobodies. They sold her off for money to drink. I don't know if that's something Kylo was telling her, just because he's trying to get her to join him, so he's just trying to say shit to make her feel bad, and maybe she'll feel like, oh, he's sharing this info with me, he really likes me, I should join forces with him. Because in The Force Awakens, they take off in a ship. Like, there's a ship. There's clearly something that happens. There's a reason why Rey was put on Jakku. There's a reason why all that happened, but they don't tell you in this movie. So you're still left wondering, who the fuck are Rey's parents? Like, I thought that was going to be answered in this one. Going to make you wait for the third one, so I now got 2 years to wait to find that out. But again, overall, for the movie, I know I've said a lot of negative shit, but a lot of the negative stuff really pissed me off. But I really enjoyed the portions of the movie that they did well. I enjoyed it. As a review of the movie as a whole, I would say I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in what they did with the movie. I'm worried for the next one. I'm worried that it's going to be even more Disneyfied. It's going to reek even worse of Mickey Mouse shit in the next one. Because this one stank like big old Mickey Mouse turds, man. This one just reeked of Mickey Mouse shit. Every few minutes you could see fucking more Mickey Mouse stuff. Like, but anyways, definitely worth seeing in the theater. I hope you enjoy the movie. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think, man. Leave me a comment. I can take it. You want to call me a name? That's cool. If you think I hit it head on, let me know, man. I want to know. Am I alone in this? Because reading some shit on the internet, I feel like sometimes I'm the only person who thinks this way, but then other times I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, everybody thinks this way. But then I'll read a review from some big authority in the Star Wars universe, and they got nothing but nice shit to say, and it makes me wonder, did we watch the same fucking movie? Are we a fan of the same Star Wars universe? Because I'm cool with only being a fan of the classic 3 movies and those characters. I'm totally fine with that. I came to terms with that. Because after I saw the movie for the first time, I was like, fuck, man, am I not really a Star Wars fan? But if you go through my house, I have a fucking Darth Vader petting a unicorn, giant fucking poster framed up in my house that I spend a lot of money on. Like, I'm definitely a legitimate Star Wars fan. I'm familiar with the movies. I might not know every single term or every single little like element that happened, but I'm still definitely a Star Wars fan. I just might not be a fan of the new Star Wars. And I'm totally okay with that now, because I literally felt bad. I felt like I was letting down the creators of Star Wars. I thought I was letting people down if I wasn't a big fan of this movie. All in all, I'm disappointed. It's definitely not my favorite. Not my favorite in the Star Wars movies by far. I feel like it's better than any of the prequels, though. It's definitely better than the prequels, even though at moments they had some prequel-y kind of vibes I felt going with special effects. But all in all, I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you're curious about the Star Wars movies, what's happening next, definitely see this movie. Definitely see it in the theater. Don't let what I say leave you from watching it or enjoying it. But definitely check it out and let me know what you think. Hope you like it. If you like what I have to say about it, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. and may the Force be with you.